Since you were a child, you were sold a comforting idea that somewhere out there is a person who will finally understand you completely. Someone who will look at you and just get it, the weight you carry, the specific shape of your fear, the things you have never quite been able to put into words. So you searched for that person. You opened up. You tried to explain the things that matter most to you. And maybe you found someone who listened well, who nodded at the right moments, who said the right things back. But even then, even with the best person, in the best conversation, there was a gap. You said the words, and the words landed somewhere close to what you meant, but not exactly. Something always got lost in the translation between what you feel and what language is capable of carrying. This is not a personal failure. This is not because you are bad at expressing yourself or because you have not yet found the right person. This is the actual condition of being a human being. And a philosopher named Arthur Schopenhauer described it 200 years ago with a single image that has never stopped being accurate. Imagine a group of porcupines on a freezing winter night. They are cold, so they move close together because closeness means warmth, and warmth means survival. But porcupines have spines. The closer they get, the more those spines dig into each other. The pain forces them apart. They separate, and the cold returns. So eventually, driven by the cold again, they come back together and get pricked again. They spend the whole night like this, pulling close for warmth, pulling apart from pain, never finding a distance that gives them both comfort and safety at the same time. Schopenhauer was not really talking about porcupines. He was talking about us. We are afraid of being alone. The isolation is its own kind of cold. So we move toward other people, toward friendship, toward love, toward connection, because we need the warmth. And the closer we get, the more we discover each other's spines, the misunderstandings, the disappointments, the moments when someone we trusted hurts us without meaning to, simply by being a separate person with their own needs that do not perfectly align with ours. So we pull back, and the loneliness returns. And eventually we move close again, because the cold of isolation is worse than the sting of closeness. This cycle is not a flaw in your relationships. It is the basic shape of every relationship that has ever existed. Here is the deeper reason the porcupines can never solve the problem. You are the only person who will ever live inside your own head. Nobody else has access to your memories exactly as you experience them. Nobody else carries the specific weight of your fears the way you carry them. Nobody else feels your sadness from the inside. They can only see it from the outside and respond to what they see. When you cry, someone can hand you a tissue. They can sit with you. They can say comforting things, but they cannot take the grief out of your chest and carry it for you. It stays where it is, with you. Only you. This is true at the end of life too. People can hold your hand in your final moments, but the actual crossing, whatever that crossing is, happens alone. No one can go with you. No one has ever been able to. We are born alone, inside our own private experience. We die alone, inside that same experience. And everything in between, every relationship, every conversation, every moment of feeling truly close to someone, is something we build to make that fact more bearable. It does not erase the fact. It just gives us something warm to hold while it remains true. This might sound like bad news, but Schopenhauer believed it was actually the door to something better. Not happiness in the simple sense. Something steadier than happiness. Here is his argument. Your suffering does not come from being alone. It comes from expecting that you shouldn't be. You feel pain every time someone fails to fully understand you, because somewhere inside you, you are waiting for them to. You feel disappointed when a friend cannot carry your sadness, because you were hoping they could. You keep waiting for someone to arrive and finally feel the emptiness completely. And the moment you stop waiting for that, the moment you genuinely accept that no human connection, however good, can erase the fact that you are fundamentally one consciousness experiencing your life from the inside, alone, something shifts. Not despair. The opposite. A strange, heavy kind of peace, because you stop being disappointed by something that was never actually possible in the first place. You stop expecting people to do something no person has ever been able to do for another person. And the relationships you do have, imperfect, partial, occasionally misunderstanding you, stop feeling like failures. They start feeling like exactly what they always were. Good enough, real, worth having. Just not the cure for the aloneness. Because there is no cure for the aloneness. Once you stop expecting other people to fill that space, something changes in how you move through the world. You stop needing constant reassurance that you are understood. You stop chasing the specific high of someone finally getting it, because you no longer believe that moment is the answer to anything permanent. And a person who has made peace with their own aloneness becomes very hard to control, because so much of what controls us, the need to fit in, the fear of being left out, the desperation to be liked, runs on the fear of isolation. If you are no longer afraid of being alone, that fear loses its grip on you. You stop performing for approval you no longer desperately need. You stop staying in situations just because leaving them might mean being by yourself for a while. This does not mean you stop caring about people. Schopenhauer was not telling you to become cold or to give up on connection. He was describing something more specific. A person who can be warm with others and still complete without them. Who can love people and still not need them to solve a problem that was never theirs to solve. That person sits in a quiet room, alone, and is not afraid. Not because the loneliness has disappeared, because they finally stopped expecting it to. The porcupines never found a perfect distance. They never stopped feeling the cold or the spines. But over time, they learned the rhythm of it, when to move close, when to give space. They stopped being shocked by the spines because they understood that the spines were never a malfunction. They were just what it cost to be near another living thing. You are not broken because you sometimes feel alone, even in a room full of people who care about you. You are simply a conscious being, doing the thing every conscious being before you has done, reaching for warmth, while quietly knowing that some part of you will always be the only one home inside your own mind. That is not a tragedy. It is just the truth. And the truth, once you stop fighting it, is a much quieter place to live than the hope that someone, someday, will finally arrive and make you less alone than you actually are.